Welcome back to Life Full of Zest. Today we are going to be doing a full body 1 hour Pilates class. Let's not waste any more time and get straight into it. We're going to be starting in the center of our mat in an all fours position. Remember to make sure that those wrists are comfortably under those shoulders and knees are comfortably under those hips. We're going to inhale, and on that exhale, pushing up that spine towards the ceiling, allowing the spine to stretch out. Inhale, exhale, open that chest, keeping that core tight and that pelvis in neutral. Inhale, exhale, pushing that spine up towards the ceiling. And slowly opening that chest. Getting that neutral pelvic positioning, drawing those gaps down your shoulders. You're going to inhale. And on that exhale, extend your left leg off the ground, allowing that complete parallel position to the floor. And you are going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bringing that leg across midline and leaning into that glute and allowing that glute to stretch. We're just going to rock forwards and backwards. Keep inhaling and exhaling as we move. And we're going to lift that leg back up, lifting arm and holding for 10, 9, feel that activation, keep that alignment. I want you to keep that activation. Another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly bringing your arm to the side as well as your leg to the side. And we're going to hold, feel that glute activation for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping that leg on the floor, I want you to bring it towards the side, and we're just going to roll our hips backwards and forwards while we push that groin into the ground, allowing a stretch down that groin area. As you're leaning back, you're tilting that pelvis out and leaning in. So we're just going through a little bit of a mobility warm-up, getting that body comfortably stretched out so we can reach those ranges of motion that we need to during our session. Let's bring that leg back in and lifting that right leg, activating core and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bringing that leg across midline, leaning into that glute and using your back leg to allow your body to move forwards and backwards as you lean into that glute to get some mobility and stretching into that pelvic area. And let's do 2 more. Lifting back up, activating that glute and lifting that left hand up and holding in a Superman hold position for 10, 9, sucking in that core, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly bringing those arms to the side, those limbs, and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping that leg there, dropping it onto the floor, rotating that tailbone out to the side, leaning forwards and backwards, allowing a deep stretch into that groin, breathing as you're moving forwards and backwards. You want to get that flexibility so that you can have better activation and improved range of motion. And let's lift that leg back, getting back into an all fours position. We're going to tuck our toes in comfortably under our feet. We're going to inhale, and on that exhale, lifting glutes up towards the ceiling and pushing both heels into the ground, rotating that tailbone up towards the ceiling, pushing the back of the knees into the wall behind you. Allow that stretch all the way down. And now pushing your head through your arms, allowing the shoulders to stretch out. And bending that right knee in, pushing that left heel into the ground. And rotate to the other side. And rotate. And we are going to push both heels into the ground, leaning a little bit more forward, keeping that core tight. Even though we're in a different position, we're going to lift right leg up, squeezing that glute. Inhale, exhale, knee tuck towards opposite elbow and back up. And that's 1 and 2, core tight. And 3, sucking belly to spine. 4, keep going. And 5 and 6, 2 more, 7 and 8. Bringing that leg down, bringing head through your shoulders, allowing that stretch. Pushing heels into the ground and leaning forward to lift that other leg. And extend, inhale, exhale, knee tuck to opposite elbow and extend. And 2, core tight. And 3. And 4. Halfway. 5, 6, and 7, and 8. Dropping that leg. Leaning your head through your shoulders to allow that shoulder stretch. And leaning forward, hovering those knees off the ground and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And leaning back into rest position. Well done. Let's allow that stretch into those shoulders. We're going to come back up and we're going to lift our right foot next to our right hand, leaning into that knee, and we're slowly just going to open that chest, that inner hand towards the ceiling and leaning forward, allowing that stretch, following your hand with your eyes and leaning forward. We're going to do 5 of these. 3 and 2 more. Keep going. 4 and 5. Slowly coming back down, bringing that leg back behind you, lifting that other leg next to your other hand, leaning into that front knee, opening that chest towards the ceiling, leaning forward and back. And as you're leaning back, push that hip down into the ground, allowing that stretch. And forward and back. Keep going. We've got 2 more after this one. And slowly bring that leg back and opening that chest, allowing those abdominals to stretch out. Slowly leaning down onto your tummy. We're getting that neutral spine, that opening of that chest, drawing scaps down your back, neck in neutral. And I want us to extend arms overhead. And we're slowly going to lift both arms and both legs off the ground. Inhale, exhale, lifting and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rotating palms to the floor and just lifting and lowering your hands up and down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly down. We're going to lift those arms and legs up off the ground again. Core nice and tight. Inhale. And on that exhale, lifting both arms and both legs. And we are going to squeeze those elbows towards each other while we keep those legs off the ground. And extend core tight. And squeeze. I want you to really focus on squeezing those lower scaps, those lower shoulder blades towards each other, making sure that you're bringing your shoulders away from your ears. And let's do 3 more. And 1. Feel that glute activation, squeezing those glutes. And last one, we're going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly down, lifting yourself into that rest position, pushing shoulders into the ground for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, leaning back forward. We're going to bring and interlace our hands comfortably behind our backs, resting our elbows on the floor, resting our head on our left hand sides. We're going to inhale, and on that exhale, lifting our legs and arms off and extending, squeezing glutes and rotating to face our faces towards the other side. Inhale, exhale, extend and release. And extend and release. And extend and release. And last one on each side. Extend and release. And extend and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly coming back down and lifting yourself up into that rest position, pushing those shoulders into the ground, and we're going to lift back up onto that all fours. We're going to hover those knees off the ground for 10 seconds. Inhale, exhale, and hover for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly down, bringing right leg out, then left leg out into front support, sucking belly to spine, squeezing those glutes. You're going to inhale, and on that exhale, tuck right knee towards right elbow and extend and lift. Exhale in, inhale out, and 3 and 4. We're doing 10 of these. Keep going. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we're going to inhale and exhale, chest touch. If you struggle with this front support extended plank position, you can do it with your knees in. And let's do 5 more. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're just going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping those knees in and leaning back into rest position. And just push those shoulders into the ground, allowing that rest. We're going to turn over onto our left hand sides. We're going to start with some stretches. Before we begin, I want that finger facing the wall and away from your body. I want your ankles in line with your hips and shoulders. And you're going to inhale. And on that exhale, you're going to lift your hips off the ground towards the ceiling and leaning your hand over, allowing a stretch. And slowly back into a seated position. And we're going to do 5 of these. And that's 2. Keeping core tight. Allow that stretch down that right hand side of the body. And 3. And 4. And on the last one, we are going to hold for 10 seconds. And up and hold and reaching and extending. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And slowly back down. We are going to lift our hands towards our heads to support that body. And I want those hips on the floor with those knees in line with those hips and shoulders. And we're going to place either the other hand over here, or if you're feeling like you need stability, in front of you. And we are going to pulse 2 kicks forward and then pulse 2 kicks back. The point of this exercise is to make sure that you're maintaining stability and not moving with that momentum of that leg. So let's inhale. And on that exhale, you can pulse 2 kicks. If you want to challenge, you can put your hand behind your head and back. That's 2 and 3 and 4. And keep going. We're doing 6 and 6. Keeping that arm where that is and that leg where it is, toe pointing towards the wall in front of you. And we are going to bend and extend. That's 1 and 2. Keep going. And 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. We're doing 10 with a 10-second hold. 9 and 10 and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7. Please try and make sure that you're keeping that alignment and not slanting to compensate. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bending that leg and slowly coming back down. Let's keep our elbow on the floor and we are going to lift our hips off the ground. We're going to do that same sequence. However, our hips are going to be off the ground. It's going to have to work a little bit harder to keep that stability and that control. So let's keep going. Inhale. Exhale, lift those hips, squeezing those glutes. Hips are comfortably forward, placing other hand either behind your head or on your hips, wherever you feel comfortable. And we are slowly going to inhale, exhale, 2 kicks forward and back. That's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Keep going. And 5 and 6. And we are going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Into little pulsations for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bending that leg down and slowly turning over onto the other side to do that same sequence. Let's start with those side bends. So you are going to make sure your ankles are in line with your hips and shoulders, hands facing away from the body. And we are going to inhale, and on that exhale, lifting hips up off the floor and reaching over. And that's 1. Remember, we're doing 5 with the 10-second hold. And reach. Allow that stretch down that body. And 2, make sure you're not slumping into that shoulder. And 3. And 4. And last one, we're holding for 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And slowly down. Let's bring our elbow onto the floor, comfortably resting our head on our hand. And we are slowly going to, remember just to make sure that your hips, knees, and shoulders are all in line, placing other hand comfortably behind your head. And 2 pulses forward, 2 pulses back. And look at my ankle as I'm leaning forward. I'm pointing my toes towards my nose as I'm kicking back, pointing towards the wall below me. That's 2, keeping core tight. And 3. And 4. And 5. And 6. Lifting that leg up and bending and extending. And 1. And 2. And 3, core tight. 4. And 5. And 6. And 7. And 8. And 9. And 10. And holding for 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And bending down. Use this time as a rest as we get into our next position, bringing that elbow comfortably under that shoulder. Remember, same sequence as we did with that other side. Let's inhale and exhale, lifting up, placing that other hand behind your head. If you need to balance, you can put your hand here. And inhale, exhale, 2 kicks forward, 2 kicks back. That's 1. And 2. And 3. And 4. And 5. And 6. And holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And into the little pulsations for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And bending down and turning over onto your backs to stretch out those glutes. We're going to place our right knee over our left and hugging those ankles towards our glutes and holding. And allow your body to rest and recover before we progress onto that next sequence. Let's extend our legs and place them comfortably on the floor. Let's extend arms overhead, and we're going to inhale. And on that exhale, we're going to lift arms, head, neck, and chest off the ground. Please make sure your toes are pointing away from you and are in contact with one another. And slowly rolling yourself and lifting up, stacking that vertebra and rolling yourself down again. We're going to do 5 of these. That's 1. Rolling all the way up. And 2, keeping those toes nice and tight. And extending arms overhead. Slow and controlled. 3. We've got 2 more, all the way up. And rolling comfortably down. We're going to stay down here. We're slowly going to place our hands comfortably on our sides. We're going to lift our legs up into tabletop position and extending our toes towards the ceiling. We're slowly going to lift head, neck, and chest off the ground, and we are going to place both hands on the back part of our right calf. Inhale. Exhale, lower that left leg and pulse your knee towards your chest for 2 pulses, keeping those toes pointing. And exhale, rotate and rotate and rotate. And let's do 1 more on each side. Keep going and slowly dropping head, neck and chest back down. Dropping right leg down, left leg down, arms next to each other on our sides, and we are slowly going to rotate that pelvis up towards the ceiling. Let's inhale, and on that exhale, lift those hips up towards the ceiling, making sure those knees are next to each other and not falling out, squeezing those glutes and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to lift that right leg into tabletop. Inhale, exhale, toe tap. While you're doing this, making sure those hips are aligned and are not dropping. That's 3. We're doing 8 and 4 and 5. Keep going. And 6. You want to feel that glute activation. And 7 and 8. Dropping that right leg, lifting that left leg, and inhale, exhale, toe tap, and 1 and 2 and 3. Squeezing those glutes, controlling that motion. 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Lifting those hips. We're going to stay here and we are going to maintain the positioning of that hip height, and we're slowly going to draw our knees away from each other to slowly come back in. And that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Keep going. I want you to feel that burn in that bottom part of your glutes. 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Lifting those hips to slowly roll yourself back down into that supine position. Let's inhale, and on that exhale, lifting right leg up into tabletop and then left leg up into tabletop. We're going to start with hundreds prep. We're going to bring arms overhead. Inhale, exhale, lift head, neck and chest up towards the ceiling, bringing hands to your sides and slowly back. We're doing 6 of these. Inhale, exhale, lift, and inhale back. That's 2 and 3. Using that core. And 4 and 5. Keep going. And on the 6th one, we're going to stay in the air, extending those legs and pushing the air into the ground for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And slowly bending those knees while we bring our hands back overhead. We're going to hug our knees to our chest and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going back into that tabletop position. We're going to interlace our hands comfortably behind our head. We're going to inhale, and on that exhale, lifting head, neck and chest off the ground. We're going to do 6 tabletop crunches, 2 sucking belly to spine. I don't want to see you bracing at all. 3, making sure those scaps are all the way down that back. 4 and 5. Last one, we're going to stay in the air and we're going to rotate right rib towards left hip, and that's 1. Inhale, center, and 2. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate. 3. Slow and controlled. 4, 5, and 6. Staying right where we are, keeping head, neck, and chest to the ground. We're going to inhale, exhale, toe tap, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep going. 5 and 6. And last little push, double leg toe taps, and 1, core tight, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6. Rolling head, neck, and chest back to the floor and hugging those knees towards your chest. And we're going to hold just for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping those feet onto the floor. We're going to bring those feet slightly larger than shoulder width apart. Arms in a T or rugby post position. And rocking those knees from side to side. And let's do one more on each side, bringing both legs next to one another, arms on your sides. We're going to inhale, and on that exhale, rolling that pelvis up towards the ceiling, squeezing those glutes. We're going to lift that right leg off the ground into tabletop, extending that knee up towards the ceiling. We're slowly going to drop that hip down and slowly back up. And that's 1 and 2, keeping that position of that leg. 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. We're doing 8 of these, so 2 more with a 10-second hold. And lowering and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bending that leg, dropping it down, lifting that other leg up, extending it towards the ceiling, and lifting and lowering. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Keep going. And 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. And dropping that leg, aligning those knees for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping that leg, lifting those hips to slowly roll that pelvis back to the floor. We're going to extend our legs again and slowly extend arms overhead, and we're going to roll ourselves up into a seated position, placing your hands in a T position with your palms facing the ceiling. We're going to bring our ankles in line with our shoulders, and we're going to inhale, and on that exhale, rotating our ribs and chest towards the left hand side for 2 pulses, still drawing our shoulders down that back. And inhale back to center, exhale 2 pulses to the right and back to center. Keep going. While you're doing this, your toes are pointing towards the ceiling, knees are comfortably in the ground, and you're maintaining a good lengthened spine and good posture. And 1 more on each side. And back to center. We're slowly going to bring our hands in front of us, and we're going to tuck our chin in under towards our chest, and rolling yourself into a rounded C curve, allowing that spine to stretch, reaching as far as you can and rolling back up. We're going to do 4 of these, so deep breath in, exhale, rolling down and reaching, and slowly back up. What we're going to do next is we're going to go from a spine stretch into a roll down, into a roll over, going back into a roll up. So I hope you're ready. I hope you're feeling nice and stretched. Let's stack that spine, bring those ankles towards each other, point those toes, rolling yourself all the way down And I want you to make sure that you are in the center of the mat. Before we begin, you can actually bring your glutes and your body a little bit lower to the second bottom 2/3 of the mat. We're going to lift those legs into tabletop and extending those legs up towards the ceiling, lowering those legs down to 45-degree angle. And we're going to inhale, and on that exhale, lift your body up and over your head, pointing those toes towards the floor, flexing those ankles and controlling yourself down while keeping your toes pointing towards the floor, and you articulating through that spine, one vertebra at a time, to get that pelvis onto the floor, rolling and circulating those ankles towards one another, and slowly extending those legs, lowering them down, bringing arms overhead, lifting yourself up and reaching over into that spine stretch, rolling all the way back down and lifting those legs into tabletop, extending those legs, lowering them down. Inhale, exhale, lifting over into that roll over, pointing those toes and controlling yourself down towards the floor, getting ready to do that roll up, controlling, using that core, circulating those legs and controlling your legs down. Bend them into tabletop, dropping them down, extending those legs, bringing arms overhead. Inhale, exhale, rolling yourself up towards the ceiling, reaching over and controlling yourself down. Let's do 2 more of these, and lifting those legs back up into tabletop, extending them up towards the ceiling, lowering towards that 45-degree angle, and exhale, lifting your legs overhead, placing them on the floor and rolling yourself comfortably back down to starting point, coming into contact with those ankles, bending those legs back to tabletop, dropping them onto the floor, extending those legs, bringing arms overhead. Inhale, exhale, roll yourself all the way up and over, and controlling yourself down into that rounded C curve, and lifting those legs up into tabletop, straightening them, lowering them. Inhale, exhale, lift yourself over and reaching those legs onto the floor and controlling yourself back down, 1 vertebra at a time, and bending those legs and dropping those feet onto the floor, extending those knees, arms overhead, and controlling yourself all the way back up and reaching into that rounded C curve. Well done, everyone. I hope you're feeling nice and activated. We are going to stay in the seated position. I want your feet 1.5 feet away from your glutes, and I want your hands facing away from your body. We're going to inhale, and on that exhale, we're going to lift ourselves into a reverse bridge position, squeezing those glutes. We're going to inhale, exhale, lower your glutes towards the floor and slowly back up. And that's 1 and 2. Keep going. And 3. We are going to do 8 of these with single leg toe taps. Keep going. And 5 and 6. Making sure those knees aren't falling out. And lifting and holding. You're slowly going to inhale, and on that exhale, lift right leg into tabletop. Inhale, exhale, toe tap, and 1 and 2. Keep going, trying to keep those hips aligned. 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. 2 more. 7 and 8. And extending and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping that leg down, transferring your weight. Inhale, exhale, toe tap, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Keep going, keeping that hip alignment. I want you to feel a burn in that right stabilizing glute. And 1 more into a 10-second hold. 10, 9, sucking belly to spine. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping that leg and slowly controlling yourself back down. I want those hands facing towards that body, and we are going to lift our hips off the ground while maintaining our straight legs. If you do struggle with this movement, you can keep your legs bent and do that same movement. We're going to inhale, and on that exhale, lifting hips up towards the ceiling and slowly holding, squeezing glutes for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Transferring weight onto that left leg, bending right leg into tabletop and toe tap for 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Dropping that leg down, lifting that other leg and toe tapping 1 and 2. Keep going, and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Dropping that leg down and slowly controlling those glutes. Back to the floor, and just placing hands behind your head and just rolling yourself down towards your knees. Allow that spine stretch. I want you to feel that stretch going from the top of your neck all the way down your body, and reaching as much as you can. We're going to lift back up, and I want you to place your elbows comfortably on the floor, shoulder just larger than shoulder width apart, and we're slowly going to extend our legs from tabletop all the way up. If you do struggle with this one, just make sure that you're in that tabletop, but you are slowly going to inhale, and on that exhale, drop your legs towards the right hand side and slowly roll back up to center. Inhale, drop towards the right and roll yourself around to center. We're going to do 4 on each side. Please make sure, this is very important. There's going to be a tendency for those hips to want to move around. You got to work really hard in stabilizing and maintaining the positioning of your pelvis without bracing your shoulders or your neck or anywhere else. It's inhale, drop towards the left, and exhale, come around. That's 1 and 2. Keep going. And 3. Keep that control. We can rest in a bit. And 4. And back to center. We're going to rotate our ankles towards the ceiling, and we're just going to do little motions up and around each other like that. For 10. Suck belly to spine. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bending those knees together and just little knee tucks. For 10. We're already done 2, and that's 3 and 4. Keep going. And 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, and slowly dropping those legs back down and leaning all the way onto the floor. Arms in a T or rugby post position, and you're just going to rock your knees from side to side, allowing that lower back and side of your body to stretch as you are rolling from side to side. Well done, everyone. Keep it up. We are going to progress into the jackknife. So we have to get into that rollover position. We're just going to do 3 of these. So bringing those legs into tabletop, we're going to lift and extend those legs. Just make sure again that you are in the lower third of your mat so that you have space to roll over. Let's extend those legs. Inhale, lower those legs to 45-degree angle. Exhale, use your core and lift your legs overhead, extending those toes towards the floor. From here, I want you to use your core and the back part of your back muscles to control yourself into a 90-degree angle. So you're squeezing your glutes, squeezing your core, and controlling yourself back down while you using your core and going back to starting point. Inhale, drop those legs. Exhale, lifting yourself overhead. Make sure that when you are in these positions that you are not looking towards the side, that you keep your neck in that neutral position, lifting those legs. And if you do struggle to get into these positions and control them, keep your legs bent. You'll have a little bit more control and stability. You can also bring your arms into more of a T position to control yourself back down. Let's do 1 more. Inhale, drop those legs. Exhale, lift those legs overhead, getting those feet to touch the floor, keeping those toes pointed, lifting all the way up and controlling yourself back down and hugging those knees towards your chest for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping both legs onto the floor. We're going to place right ankle on left knee and hug that knee towards your chest for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Changing over and hugging for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping that right leg onto the floor. We're going to lift that left leg up towards the ceiling. Allow that body to stretch and pointing those toes for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pointing toes to nose for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And slowly extending that left leg and bringing your right knee over midline, allowing that knee to fall onto the floor and opening your right shoulder, looking into that opposite direction and allowing that body to stretch for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lifting that leg back up and dropping it down to lift that left leg up towards the ceiling, pointing toes towards the ceiling, allowing that hamstring stretch for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pointing toes to nose for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extending that right leg, bringing left knee across midline, bringing left shoulder onto the floor and leaning and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly back over. Let's extend arms overhead and we're going to roll ourselves up all the way into a seated position. And let's sit with our legs in a crisscross position. We are reaching over towards the left hand side, pushing that right rib out towards the right for 10, 9, 8, 7, pushing that right glute into the ground, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly over to the other side and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Staying in that seated position, you're going to place your right hand behind your back, drawing that elbow down into the ground and just placing some light pressure to the side of your head, allowing a stretch to go all the way down the side of that neck and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tucking in and looking under that arm for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly changing over to do the same thing, drawing that elbow towards the floor, placing light pressure on that side of that head for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Looking under that armpit and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you for completing that Pilates class with me. I hope you're feeling warm and activated and ready for the day. If you are wanting more of a structured type of Pilates, then take a look at the link in the description below. It teaches you Pilates from the fundamental movements right through to the intermediate movements, and we've thrown in some advanced as well as bonus videos for you. So take a look if it is something that you might be interested in. Have a good day, everybody, and if you like that video, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so.